Hey guys, today I'm going to be tying GFA hopper. It's a really easy pattern to tie. I had a request on Fishbrain by this person right here for any tips on hopper patterns. So I thought I'd just make this video just to show everyone an easy hopper pattern to tie. Start off by laying your thread base down here. You can snip or break your thread off just like that. What you're going to do at the end here is the end of your hook, grab 2 peacock curls or 3. I like to do 3 just because it adds a little bit better of a body for that foam to sit on. Snip off those white ends there and then tie this in just like so. Bring this up to about here on the hook, and then to whip finish or half hitch there, and then you're just gonna bring that thread over to your holder there. Use the rotisserie feature of your vise. If you do not have one, you can just hand over hand the hurl onto the hook. So just palmer that peacock curl up to right about where you half hitched your thread there. So right about there. Tie that off, and you can use your remaining one for your next fly if you have a long enough tag there. Next step here is get your foam. I'm going to be tying it in this green colored here. This is just 2mm olive fly foam. You can use whatever color you want for your fly here. So I'm just going to be doing this. So measure about a hook gap there. I like to just put the foam right underneath the fly there. Just use the hook point to poke a little hole in the foam. So you know where to cut it. Find where that hole is there. And then cut a little section of that foam out. Cut it as straight as you can. It's not perfect, that's okay. So just cut it. You don't need it to be too long, about a piece that good is about a piece this big is good. But if you realize one end a little thicker, it's good always just to trim her up. You just want your foam to be all the same size. So then you're gonna take your foam here, take one of the ends, just make a little tip like that just for an easier tie-in. So the reason I do that is for when closer to the end of the fly, it just looks a little better up on the hook there. So you're gonna bring this out a little bit, and you want to measure. You want that foam to be able to come right in front of the hook here, if that makes sense. When you pull it back, it just should just lay right on top of the other foam right there. So once you find that spot, just tie your foam in just like that. And then you should, once you tie your foam in, start by making crisscross segmentations like this on your fly. Should fit. Start big at the head there, and get smaller as you get down to your body. You should fit about 4 in there. You want them to be pretty even, but like you don't want it to be the first one's really big and the second one's really small. I'm just trying to get this one here. Now this one's being tricky. If I can just, there we go. All right, come on. There we go. Just like that. You can take this right here and trim it. You can just leave a little bit like that. And then just make a little point like you did on the head. Like that. Then you're going to crisscross back over those wraps. You should have an X segmentation just like that. So next you're going to take your thread here and you're just going to leave it right there. Take you a patch of elk hair here. This is just natural elk. So then what you're going to do is cut off a clump for your wing. So big enough for a wing there. Snip that with your scissors. Once you do that, you can take out any of those fuzzy pieces or those loose. You can also use a fine tip comb. Also works pretty well. I just do this, but all those loose fibers out there. Should be left with a clump about that big. Put it into your hair stacker here, just like this. Push it down in there a little bit, and then stack. Stack it, and then once you got that, pull it apart like so, and you should have some nice even tips just like that. Grab those out, transfer that to your other hand. We notice I am tying left-handed, so if you are right-handed, it would just be opposite hands, obviously. So you want this wing to extend, the tips just to extend just past the body there, the foam body. Transfer that measurement to your other hand, and do 2 loose wraps, and then the next wrap, get harder and harder as you're pulling up on the fly there, just like that. And then once that is done, just take your scissors there and just trim that elk hair off as close as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect because that will be covered up by your foam. So once you get it just like that, take that foam that you've got right here. Just do a little more trimming here. Okay, just like that. Take that foam and lay it over top of that elk, just like that, so it kind of splices that wing out a little bit. By the way, I'm using a size, if I haven't already mentioned, 8 hook. I would tie this a little bigger, maybe with a 6, depending on what size grasshoppers you have around your waters, and then secure that foam right to the top, just like that. And then you can come in here with your scissors once you get that all done. Come in here with your scissors and just trim up some of that hair that might be sticking out the sides a little bit. just like that. If that's adjusted properly, make sure how you like it from the underneath right there. Then what you can do is get a high-vis piece of foam. In my case, I'm using red. Just gotta grab it out of this scrap piece out of this bag here. But I'm using this red foam. Cut off just a tiny little piece, just like this. Just like that. Even smaller than that, honestly. Like this. Whatever high-vis piece of scrap foam you've got laying around, and then just secure that to the top. Like that. That's just so you can see the fly a little better. Then, next, you're gonna add legs. I've got these brown silly legs here. So, take one of those off. I've got this really long strand here. So, I can just trim that to what I need it to be at. What you're gonna do is double that over like this, creating that loop. And then bring the end of that loop just to about the end of your elk hair there. And then secure that in like this. Just like that. You can pull this to adjust the size of your legs if needed. Then what you're gonna do is take your scissors, find the middle part of that loop right there, just trim that. Then you're gonna take the two strands that are on top and then just bring them over to the other side like this, and then trim to the size that you need them to be at. Just like that. So it's called a GFA hopper, which stands for General Foam Attractor. So you can fish this for many different colors, for many different bugs. It's not just a hopper pattern. It's just a very easy pattern to tie, and if you tie it in the right colors, it can be very effective when fished like a hopper in those summer months there. So then you can either whip finish or your hand knot of choice. I usually just do 3 half hitches there. Trim your thread there. Take head cement or super glue and just add a little dot right there. And there you go. That is your General Foam Attractor right there. Great hopper pattern, great stonefly pattern, great all-around terrestrial pattern there. Like I said, you can tie it in different sizes and colors to mimic many different bugs. Like, I'm thinking about tying this in like an orangish color for the October caddis I have hatching in my rivers right now, but very versatile fly, and hope that you guys can watch this video and tie this fly and catch some big monster trout with this fly. This is even great for panfish too, like bluegill and stuff, but I intended it for trout. But once you get that fly all tied, you can then remove it from your vise and let the super glue dry or head cement. But thanks guys for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and stay tuned to the next one.